I've been waiting for a reason to do this for a long time. So I'm getting down to the bottom third of the 2021 bowl here, and the experience has been very consistent down to this point. The Virginias are starting to fade out, and with my experience with most blends that have Oriental in it, the Oriental experience is what becomes the dominant experience at the bottom of the bowl. And this is proving to be no different. Very nice. That 2021 is probably going to be my favorite, just knowing me and my preferences. But the age has done it really good justice. And of course, that's going to be the hardest one for anybody to find. But if you still have some in your cellar, cherish it. It's good stuff. I'll finish this bowl and come back with the beginning of the 2022 bowl. Palate cleanser. All right, pipe number 2, the 2022 8-State Burley. The Virginia sweetness is coming right off the top, just like the 2021. Absolutely delicious. These first two are what I would hope these would be. The Burley brings a very nice cocoa tone with the sweetness. It's leaning more towards a chocolate. And mind you, I'm smoking this back to back with the previous one, and at the bottom of the bowl, you're getting a really earthy tone. So maybe the sweetness is hitting my palate a little more exaggerated from a neutral palate, but wonderful. Retrohale is very smooth. A little tingle on the palate, just letting me know that that Burley is there. And the Orientals are just bringing in a nice, again, herbal, floral tone to it. Again, sweet, that I'm interpreting more as like a dried apricot. I'm going to smoke this down. I'll be back in a bit. All right, we're down to about the bottom third of the bowl here. I have not ashed off. These burn very, very well all the way to the bottom of the bowl. Super consistent, just sweet base. The Orientals come forward the further down in the bowl you get, but this one has a very nice burly chocolatey tone to it that the 2021 didn't quite have. It was sweeter, but not in that way. While I'm smoking this down, I just want to wish everyone a happy Memorial Day weekend. And for this holiday, saying happy Memorial Day doesn't seem right. I'm not sure what other word would be appropriate due to the somber nature of this holiday. Remembering those in the service who have served our country and protected our freedoms. I do just want to say thank you to all those veterans out there. My grandfather was a World War II vet. He passed away a few years ago in his 90s. I have brother-in-law who has recently retired from the Air Force, and a brother-in-law, my wife's youngest brother, who is the same age as our oldest niece. So that's a weird dynamic. But anyway, he is just starting a career in the Marines. So if anyone in your family is in the service, reach out to them, share your love and appreciation. And to all of you, thank you sincerely. There are a lot of people out there doing what it takes while we're here enjoying the beautiful beginning of summer. The least we can do is remember them. So the 2022, great smoke. The Virginias have aged nicely. Again, I was getting some of that fermented tone that I love from a good Virginia. That dried apricot tone is just delicious off the tin note. So 5 years seems to be a great mark for this particular blend, or at least the previous versions. If you have some in your cellar, enjoy. When I'm done with this, I'm going to jar all of these up. I'm going to vacuum seal them, and I'm just going to wait for new versions to come out so that I can continue to do comparisons like this over time. I am not going to smoke through these quickly. That's one reason that I opened a new tin of the 2026, so that I had an equal amount of all four that I can spread over time. I have 2 more unopened tins of the 2026 that I look forward to sharing with friends and pipe club meetings and that type of thing. So that'll be great. As you can see, it's getting harder and harder to keep this lit. I'm going to get down to the bottom here pretty quick, and then I'll switch over to the 2024. I'll be back. All right, I am back from a lunch break. I was starting to feel a little shaky from having 2 bowls of a Burley blend back to back. It's a medium nick, but 2 bowls back to back caught up to me. So, new cup of decaf coffee with a little vanilla creamer in it, because I do not need any more stimulant this afternoon. And we are on to the 2024 in a Cobbett Shire with its original stem. These are great pipes. I love the way they look. I love this acorn shape. They did a great job with the hardwood bottom on that. So I can tell that the Virginias are younger on this. I'm getting a much brighter hit off the initial light. Very similar to what I would get from a straight Virginia, sensationally, in that initial bright tone. This is earthier. Rather than having a broader, like the flavor ranges seem a little more compressed. So very earthy tone, very sweet undertone. The middle area is a little less defined. I'm not getting as much of the oriental experience in this yet. But we're at the top of the bowl. We'll see how this goes. I'll come back when I'm about halfway to the bottom third of the bowl and let you know. All right. I am down to the very end of this bowl. I got caught up watching some YouTube videos and responding to emails. And this one is earthier than the 2021 and the 2022. Still a very nice smoke, very balanced. The Orientals are not the show here. The Virginias and the Burley bring a very nice balance to this, and the Orientals are just kind of filling in that middle space, giving a little bit of interest, but not overpowering in any way. Yeah, I can't even keep it lit at this point. It's done. Very nice smoke. I am super impressed with how well the Virginias aged in the 2021 and the 2022. Amazing what 5 years in the tin will do to the fermentation of that leaf and just bring in that stone fruit apricotiness, that plum note that I love in Virginias. So good. All right, so the 2026 is a divergence from the standard recipe that we saw in the 21, 22, and the 2024. They added more components to the 2026. We've got the Guatemalan dark burley, which is a big difference. They call out white burley here, Catarini, black sea sorghum, Izmir, bright Virginia, and red Virginia. So I did a review on this last week, and I find this to be a very Oriental forward blend, or at least that was my initial impression. I'm very curious as to how I will feel about it following the previous versions now. Let's find out. The 2024 had a very decent nick hit to it. Again, on par with the others though, but I sensed it for longer down into the bowl. The others, it was very present at the beginning of the bowl, the kind of spiciness tone to it. So this, the 2026, again, I'm getting the spiciness up in my nasal cavity on the retrohale, and the Virginias are much more dialed back. This is much more of an Oriental experience. It does have a sweet undertone though, but it's not super bright. So I'm getting more of a red Virginia tone to it, which I really enjoy. The middle ground on this is much broader. So there's quite a bit of herbal tones, a little bit of floralness in there as well. White burley is generally flavorless in my experience. It's very inconspicuous in a blend, but it brings nicotine to the show. Great way to fill out a blend. But I'm guessing it's the Guatemalan dark burley that is bringing in that heavy spice. I'm going to smoke this down. I'll be back with some additional thoughts. All right, I just ashed off the top of this last bowl, and the 2026 is very different than the previous blends. This is much more of an Oriental experience. The burley is there bringing some nicotine. The Virginias are there bringing a sweet base to the blend, but the herbal notes are the show with the 2026. It's a nice blend. It's a great smoke. It's just not true to the previous versions. Don't get me wrong, I will enjoy every bowl, but it is different. They definitely took some liberties with the recipe and came out with a quality product, but I have a hard time with them calling it estate burley. The undercurrent is very similar to the flavors you get from Palmetto Balkan. Not exactly the same, but again, Oriental flavors that you would expect. But it has a nice kick to it. This, in my opinion, this is the strongest of the four. That Guatemalan dark burley, man. If you were to ever smoke that straight, it'd probably be like a punch in the teeth. To recap, the 2021, the most mature Virginias, has had the most time to ferment and age and blend, was by far the best smoke. Flavor-wise, the sweetness was there, and the Burley complemented that sweetness perfectly. The earthy tones were wonderful, and the Orientals carried a nice middle note, just keeping it interesting. The 2022 was less sweet, still had a great Burley tone, definitely Burley forward. The Orientals, again, had a great presence in the middle. The 2024 was a bit thinner. The flavors were not quite as varied. Thank you for joining me for this. I really enjoyed smoking through these bowls today. Doing 4 bowls of a Burley in one day is not my usual smoking routine. So this has been a fun practice in nicotine management. They really are medium range on the nicotine. They're not strong. Like I said, the last bowl here, I'm starting to feel it at the end, but again, I've also had 3 previous bowls. I hope you have all had a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. I hope you continue to enjoy. In the meantime, remember, life with a pipe is better than without. Bye for now.